Judy Byington big update today's 10:15 p.m. October 31st, 2021. Dark to light. They are trying to push us to exactly where they want us to go. The problem is, and we've said this many times before, they don't have a cover story. They don't have a great war. They don't have this pandemic that they wanted. Yes, they're trying to keep this kind of fake pandemic going. But it's not the one they wanted. They wanted a pandemic where the entire global economy was shut down, because if the global economy was shut down, what wouldn't you really notice? What could they say is really the problem? Well, fuel prices are going up because the global economy is shut down and nobody's working. Supply chains are frozen because of the pandemic. Because nobody's working. Nobody's really doing anything. Everything's shutting down. Credit is freezing up because of the pandemic, because the global economy is shut down now. They're running into a problem and they understand this. They realize that people can see all of this very clearly. Does that mean they're going to stop? No, they're going to continue. But people are going to see this firsthand, especially with fuel prices, especially going into the winter months where people are trying to heat their homes. Keep the electric on already out in the UK. And by the way, we're going to see a lot of this happen outside of the United States first. Yes, we're going to experience the cost of fuel moving up very quickly. But we're going to see the entire system really start to break down outside of the United States. First, actually, if you look at the UK, we can see there's a problem with energy there. Not just the UK, but throughout Europe, China, and everywhere else. Now the energy supplier out there, which is called Bulb, they're in talks right now, because they could see a collapse coming as early as next week. And it is believed that the government is accelerating the plans for the collapse of the country's seventh biggest energy supply, which has an estimated 1.7 million household customers, and they also employ about 1,000 people or so. Now what's interesting about this is that the people, they're going to most likely see their energy bills rise by at least 80%. Now what's going to happen if this entire system collapse? Well, the people are going to see this very clearly, and they have a front row seat right now. When Biden was talking about a dark winter, he wasn't talking about the year 2021. He was talking about the year 2022 as we move into winter, because this was part of the world the central bank plan. Remember, they're trying to move us into the Great Reset, and people now, they're not stuck in their homes. People are waking up like crazy. They're starting to realize it's not as dangerous. Actually, it was never as dangerous as they said it was. And they're starting to realize that these leaders, well, they made it all up, and we're starting to figure out that this is one gigantic. Now Trump, he knew the playbook. He knew that this was going to happen. But remember, his entire plan is to do what he needs to destroy their system. Their system is made up of many moving parts, especially the private Western Central Bank, the World Economic Forum. And yes, the leaders are all involved with this because they're all trying to push the same thing, the Green New Deal. Now the Americans, they're going to experience rising fuel costs, and we're going to see fuel costs, which they're already rising. A lot of people are like, this is ridiculous. We're paying $4 a gallon for gas. Some places it's $5, some places it's $7. But Trump, he was doing an interview, and during the interview he said something very interesting. He says he believes that the fuel prices might go over $10 a gallon. Now think about that first. Already out in California, we know the gas prices are 7 and change. Now, if the entire country goes over $10 a gallon, people's income, this is like a hidden taxes. Inflation drops dramatically. Now what about the deliveries? Remember, trucks, they have to use fuel. Ships, they have to use planes. They have to use fuel. What about the farmers who use tractors to harvest the crops to delay? What are we going to say? We're going to see a rise in prices, which actually is the devaluation of the currency. Let's talk about being prepared. A lot of people are worried about the future. You're not the only one right now. There's an overwhelming surge of Americans who are stocking up on emergency food. Should you be one of them? Ask yourself, do you currently have enough food on hand to get you and your family? Prolonged crisis that last month. If not, you should strongly consider getting a 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriots Supply. They're the nation's #1 preparedness company, and they serve millions of American families. Right now, save $100 off their best-selling 3-month emergency kit, which comes with breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks. This kit gives you over 2,000 calories a day, and the food stays fresh for up to 25 years in proper storage. But if you don't act now, you might not secure these kits. Head over to PrepareWithXZ and claim your 3-month emergency food kit at this special price. You'll save $100 per kit. But you must act today while supplies last. That's preparedwithx22.com or click the link in the description. We have the rising fuel costs. We have the rising delivery costs, which actually ups, and FedEx and the rest already said they're right there raising their prices, and we're going to see inflation occur on food and other things, and people are going to see this and experience it. You think people are going to like this? Do you think people are going to like having their money just taken away? And as these things continually rise, where actually the value of your currency drops, people are going to become very, very upset because a lot of people, they won't be able to make ends meet. Now, I do believe that everyone needs to be prepared for this winter that's coming up, food, water supplies, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to start going to the stores. You're going to start to see less and less on the shelves, or you're also going to see prices start to move up very, very quickly. You might go in one day and say, okay, bread, $7. You might go in the next day. It might be $12. Yes, it's going to get worse for now. Remember, there's a battle going on right now between the central bank, the World Economic Forum, and the patriots. The patriots are trying to destroy their system. But the people have to understand what their system is. They have to experience it. They have to understand that this is what they're doing. Who are the people blaming now for rising fuel costs? Is it the patriots or is it the Biden administration? Well, we know it's the Biden administration right now. As things get worse, who are the people going to blame the Biden administration? Then it's going to move into the Fed because they have a mandate. Someone's going to mention, hey, don't they have a mandate? Aren't they supposed to be in charge of keeping inflation very, very low? What's going on here? And why are people getting laid off? Something's wrong here. Now they might start arguing with each other. The Fed might blame Biden, might blame the Fed. But this is something the patriots want because now they're creating the crisis. The crisis can be used against them. Remember what you're seeing here. You're seeing it all play out very, very quickly. This was always the plan. They were always doing this. The difference now is you can see it because it's moving very, very quickly. Now Trump, he put out a statement about the illegals that are going to be receiving $450,000 each. He said, is everybody watching this soon-to-be fact that the Biden administration is going to give illegal aliens $450,000 each? I think a lot of people saw that, and a lot of people are saying, this is absolutely ridiculous. Think about our armed forces. Think about our vets. These aren't even citizens of this country. Think about the people that fought for this. People are rejecting this right out in the open there. They're saying this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, some people are making jokes. Hey, if I go across the border and sneak in illegally, do I get the $450? No, I don't think you do. Remember the deep state, the World Economic Forum. They have a plan. They need to bring in as many illegals as possible. They need to blend the nation. Think about why they need to blend. Think about the school system. Think about what's being taught. Can you teach a new generation, a generation of children that aren't part of the United States, that were brought in from another country, and teach them the way you want them to learn and understand what America really is, which is opposite of what it really is? That's what they're doing. We'll be talking a lot more about this in the next report. But first, let's talk about what's happening with the currency around the world. Because remember, the United States is going to be the last country that's going to be hit very, very hard. Yes, we're going to feel it. But other countries like the UK, Venezuela, Africa, you name it, they're going to feel it really, really hard. Now out in Venezuela, we can see inflation is hitting Venezuela like crazy. The Venezuelan government recently lopped off 6 zeros from its hyperinflated currency, the Boulevard, the highest denomination currency note of 1 million boulevards, less than 25 cents. Think about this now. What are people doing there? But the people now, they are taking raw nuggets of what gold and chipping off flakes of it. That has become the currency of choice in the region because the boulevard is dropping like crazy. And this is the only thing that's keeping up with inflation. So they're using flakes of. Now I do believe people are going to start to use Bitcoin. Also, I think they're going to use both depending on the country, this situation, the technology, and you can see this is the beginning. Remember, people will always find a way. People will figure it out because when push comes to shove and you have all this paper, I mean, you have a million boulevards. That's absolutely worth nothing. Can you imagine if you had $1 million today and it was worth 25? What would you use it for? Nothing. You just probably throw it in the garbage. Then you had gold and then used to look at Bitcoin. Well, whoa, gold is worth what? $23,000 an ounce. Oh, Bitcoin is what worth 65 or 62,000 a coin. Why wouldn't you use that? And that's what people are figuring out. See crypto, gold, silver. It's a hedge against the central bank system. Their system is designed to implode in the end. Their system is designed to devalue over time. This is why they need an escape mechanism in the end. And what do I mean by that? That's the cover story. That's why they need a war to cover up their switcheroo into their same exact system. But just restart. But they're having a problem now, and the people are waking up, and as they keep up, more and more people around this globe are going to wake up remembering them, and the people will make the final decision.